Hey everyone, today we're going to tackle some of the most common living room design mistakes. You know, those little things that just stop your space from feeling truly right. And, most importantly, we're going to talk about how to fix them. So, have you ever stood in the middle of your living room, looked around, and just felt like something's off? You like the couch, you like the coffee table, but for some reason the whole thing just isn't working. Well, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place.
You know that off feeling? It almost always comes down to a few classic, super common design mistakes. But here's the good news. They are all totally fixable. So let's start with the biggest one, which is making sure your room feels like one cohesive space.
First up, let's talk about what I call the cohesion conundrum. This is all about making every single thing in your room feel like it belongs together, instead of looking like a random collection of stuff you've accumulated over the years. Okay, so the secret weapon against that hodgepodge look is a little design principle called rhythm. All it means is repeating certain things, like a color, a pattern, or even a shape, throughout the room. When you do this, you create this invisible thread that guides your eye and tells your brain, hey, all this stuff belongs together. It's a simple trick, but wow, it makes a huge difference.
Now, a mistake a lot of people make when they try to be cohesive is creating what I call the blue room. You know, where everything is the exact same shade of blue. It just ends up feeling really flat and kind of boring. The pro move is to use variation. Play around with different tints, which is just your color plus white, tones, which is your color plus gray, and shades, your color plus black. This way, you get all this depth and interest, but it still feels totally unified.
And this quote, oh man, it just perfectly captures the danger of buying the entire matching furniture set from one store. Yeah, it's technically cohesive, but it often has zero personality. Your living room shouldn't feel like a showroom floor, right? It should tell your story.
Okay, next up, mastering space and scale. We've talked about the vibe, so now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the physical room. We're talking the size of your furniture and, crucially, where you actually put it.
All right, listen up, because this is a big one. The tiny postage stamp rug. You know, a little rug just floating in the middle of the floor. It just looks silly, and it completely throws off the proportions of the entire room. This is a non-negotiable mistake, so here's exactly how to fix it.
So here's the deal. There are two and only two simple rules for this. Rule number one, the front legs rule. This is the most common and it's super easy. Your rug just needs to be big enough for the front two legs of your sofa and any chairs to sit on it. Rule number two, for bigger rooms, is the all legs rule, where every single piece of furniture is sitting completely on the rug. That's it. Front legs or all legs. Pick one.
And here's another rule that's really more science than art, your TV height. Mounting a TV way up high, especially over a fireplace, it's a recipe for neck pain, and honestly, it just looks weird. The rule is simple, it's absolute. The middle of the screen should be at eye level when you're sitting down.
And hey, to put a number on it, your eyes should only have to tilt up about 10 to 15 degrees maximum. Any more than that, and it's too high. Seriously. Case closed.
Now, let's talk about giving your furniture some breathing space. Jamming every piece you own into a room is a mistake for two really big reasons. First, the functional one. You need to be able to, walk around without bumping into things. And second, the visual one. Space around your furniture keeps the room from feeling heavy and cluttered. It lets the whole design just breathe.
And remember this, a living room is for living. It's for conversation. So please, don't just push all your furniture up against the walls. Try pulling your sofa or a couple of chairs away from the wall. You'll instantly create these cozier, more intimate zones that feel so much more welcoming. All right, our final section. This is about the details that really take a room from fine to fabulous. We're talking about personality and polish. This is where we move from just being correct to being truly captivating. Okay, real talk. If you are only using that one single light fixture in the middle of your ceiling, you're missing out. One light source creates these harsh shadows and just a flat, kind of sad atmosphere. Let me be clear, it is never, ever enough. The solution is what designers call layered lighting, and it sounds fancy, but it's just a mix of three simple types. First, you need ambient light. That's your overall glow. Second, task lighting for specific things, like a lamp right next to your favorite reading chair. And third, accent lighting, which is just to highlight cool stuff, like a piece of art. When you combine these, you get a space that's dynamic, beautiful, and way more functional.
This brings us to the dreaded boring room. We've all been in one. It's just a little too beige. But here's the thing. A boring room usually isn't about a lack of taste. It's about being afraid to make a mistake. You get so worried about picking the wrong thing that you just end up picking nothing interesting at all. So what's the antidote to boring? You've got to find your signature style. Start paying attention to what you're always drawn to. What colors make you happy? What styles get you excited? Trust that gut feeling, and don't be afraid to take a few risks. That's how you create a room that has real, actual personality.
And here is some permission you might need to hear. You don't have to keep something just because you have it. If that piece of art or that throw pillow doesn't really speak to you anymore, it is okay to let it go. Thank it for its service, and then let it move on.
Because at the end of the day, you simply cannot force something to work if you don't genuinely like it. It doesn't matter if everything else in the room is perfect. That one piece you're trying to force will always feel wrong, and it'll just drag the whole space down with it.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Look around your own living room right now. After everything we've talked about today, what's the very first change you're going to make?